Quincy Lane. Hey, that's where I'm from, Quincy, Florida. Hey, what's going on? I was thinking of some things, thinking of the state of America and just the overall vibe and energy of the citizens of America, we as American citizens. And for the most part, I've never been a political person. I came up with Jehovah's Witnesses, and the Jehovah's Witnesses don't get involved with political activities. And I've been that way since I was about 12, 13 years old. So I never was one to involve myself with politics. I was always taught to pay Caesar's thing to Caesar and God's thing to God. I mean, I don't really adhere to that, but as far as paying Caesar's thing to Caesar, you know, it just says pay your taxes and follow the laws. That's all. You know, I try to be the most productive member of society that I can personally be. And with my life half over, you know, because I'm 41, I'm not saying that all hope is gone for me per se, but with all the mistakes that I've made and everything that I've learned, it'd be better served for me to try to pass off any positive information to younger folks like my nephews, as opposed to me trying to be some type of revolutionary trying to save my own life. But politics pretty much just go as they go. You know what I mean? Like, I theorize that the public doesn't pick who's in office. They're pretty much selected, and the people that control this whole shit are the people, is the money. You know, wherever the money is, whoever has the money, whatever their moral base is, whoever has the most paper, that's pretty much how the government's going to be. You know, if you want quote unquote things to be better, then the people that have money need to have more morals that are influencing things to change. But anyway, 2020 has been an insane year, man. You know, started. You know what sparked it? Started off with the death of, well, no, for me personally, 2020 being bad started off with me not winning anything in fantasy football, and then my 49ers lost the Super Bowls. That sucked. And then a week after my Niners not losing the Super Bowl, Kobe Bryant passes away. And then a few weeks after that, we got COVID-19 and quarantines, and we've been dealing with that for a few months. And then after that, we have murder hornets about to come through and start affecting the ecology or whatever. And then after that, we have confirmed alien spacecraft. And then after that, we have a couple of murders, Ahmaud Arbery. And then we have, let me get to the point first, Rashawn, before you comment. Let me get to the point first. We have Ahmaud Arbery, and then we have being senselessly murdered by hillbillies. And then I forget the girl that got shot in her own house. And now we got the George Floyd situation. And then we got the protests, which turned into riots, which turned into looting. And everybody is blaming Trump for some reason. All of this is Trump's fault because he's at the helm while all of this is happening. And it's just unfortunate when you're in a position of power and then bad things start to happen, you get the blame. Everybody's blaming. I keep hearing this recurring thing, because we lack leadership. Because we lack leadership. That's why this is going on. Like, everybody tries to put the blame on something. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's gonna blame Trump. The riots, the police brutality, everybody's gonna blame us. So my thing is, maybe we do need to change. Like, I really could give two fucks who's in office. Like I said, I really don't care. Yeah. Did Kobe die? Yeah, you're right. I mixed up the timeline with Kobe and the Super Bowl. But I know they happened within a week of each other. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I messed up the chronology, but you get what I'm trying to say. Like, all of these things happen within this time frame, regardless of the order that it happened. But what was I gonna say, man? it just seems like so many people are putting the blame on Trump, and it's his fault, it's his fault, it's his fault, it's his fault. And just his presence being there, it just seems to cause like a lot of civil unrest, or it gives a lot of people like justification for the bullshit they do in terms of this. We doing this shit because Trump running this motherfucker, so fuck it, it's his fault. If he was doing a better job, even though it has nothing to do with him, but he's the person that's there. So maybe it is time for a change, you know? But the change is on the horizon because, you know, we have the elections coming up in November. So, you know, the change is inevitable. It's going to happen. Do I think Biden could beat him? I don't know. They say Biden is just as racist, and he's like losing his mental faculties. Like he's like showing early stages of dementia. So I really don't know, man. It's like if people wanted the Democratic Party to win, y'all didn't pick the greatest of candidates to beat Trump. I'll tell you that much. And Hillary Clinton ain't that much better as far as what people say. Like I don't really delve into this shit and research politics because I don't think that's the answer. I think the answer is changing you as an individual, man. Like we're always looking towards the government to change everything, when ultimately you have to change yourself. And I'm not just talking to black people, I'm talking to white people too. White people that actually want to change. If more white folks or more people that were non-black actually wanted to see change in America, the things would actually change in America. It's that simple. Because why? Because you guys are the racial majority. But the reason why things remain the same, I'm just talking from a mathematics standpoint. The reason why things remain fucked up and things remain the same, and the reason why, you know, not much changes in a quick enough time as far as how blacks are treated with cops, is because the majority of the people that aren't black don't give a fuck about black people. That's the only conclusion I can come with. Because when the majority of when the majority of individuals agree on one thing, that thing changes. When the majority of people in a group or in a country or in a job, a position, whatever, when the majority of a group feels a certain way about something, then that thing changes. But you look at the past, not even say 500 years, because, you know, slavery stopped, blatant slavery anyway. There's still prison and blah, 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 blah. We're not going to talk about that. But as far as like the way blacks are viewed and the way black folks are being treated, for the most part, it hasn't really changed. So you can't tell me like the majority of, and I'm not just saying whites, because not only white people live in America, but non-black people. You can't tell me the majority of non-black people don't fuck with black people in America, because if they did, if they really did care, this shit would change. It wouldn't last this long. That's just simple logic. That's just simple mathematics. So if y'all want to change this shit, y'all got to change yourselves individually. It ain't about the government or anything like that. If you raising your kids to be racist, you understand what I'm saying? If you raising your kids to think of yourself as being better than another racist because of the color of your skin or how you look or what have you, it's always going to be the same. Let me say it again. You cannot tell me the majority of non-black people in America give a fuck about black Americans if black people stay this fucked up for so fucking long. You can't tell me that shit. The majority of y'all don't give a fuck about us. I'm not saying the majority of y'all hate us, but the majority of y'all don't give a fuck. It's like on a level of how many Americans care about what's happening in some indigenous tribe in like Brazil or some shit like that. We know it exists, but we just don't pay it no mind. Whatever. We just enjoying our life. How many motherfuckers that got money that's getting paper care about the next man, like the homeless dude at the gas station or something like that? We don't hate him, but we just don't pay him no mind. So that's what I mean by don't give a fuck. I don't mean hate. The majority of people, damn, these motherfuckers came close. The majority of people in America that aren't black don't give a fuck about black people. Because if the majority of people cared, this shit would change. If you are a person that isn't black and you do care, I'm not talking about you. You don't represent the majority. But the majority of y'all don't give a fuck, man. This whole video just changed. I was talking about Trump at first, but it just spawned into something different. The majority of y'all don't care. If y'all do care, show that shit. Show that you care. Be vocal about it. Yeah, you know, there's a lot of protesting going on, but all this rioting and looting, and then when I see like white people spraying Black Lives Matter and white people breaking windows when black folks tell them don't break the windows in the neighborhood, we just want a peaceful protest. Some of y'all motherfuckers is full of shit, man. And then y'all gonna flip it and try to blame it on Trump. That's you. It's you as an individual. It don't got nothing to do with the government and the powers that be. There comes a point in time where people have to take accountability for their actions and the decisions and choices that they make in life and not just put it on fucking everything else, man. There comes a point in time like, yo, we got to start taking blame, man. We got to start being accountable. It's not the government's fault. It's not the Democrats' fault. It's not the Republicans' fault. It's not Trump's fault. It's not Joe Biden's fault. It's your fault. It's how you raise your kids. It's how you choose to conduct yourself. Majority of non-black people in America don't give a fuck about black people, man. They don't care. I'm not saying they hate us. Most of y'all don't care. You know what I'm saying? And if you truly, if it changed and all of a sudden, like, most people like actually cared about black people and cared about how they were doing and their welfare and well-being and care as far as justice, as far as justice. If the majority of us cared, all this shit would change, man. But somebody else is gonna get in office and we're gonna complain about the next person. They complain about Obama, they complain about George W, they complain about Bill Clinton. People are always gonna complain about something. It just is what it is, man. But until we start seeing things change as an overall, majority of non-blacks, y'all don't care about us. Y'all don't give a fuck about us, man. Period. Prove it otherwise by shit starting to actually change. Don't tell me you do. Prove it otherwise. When things start to change, that's when I'll start believing y'all. But until then, y'all don't give a fuck. I'm out. Peace.